Hi, welcome to the Arts Workplace, a place for arts administrators to find practical knowledge, honest reflection, and real experience inside the work. I'm Amy. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I've spent my entire career in arts administration. I started in the box office and worked my way up to senior leadership. And I created this channel to share what I've learned with the arts and culture community. So today's topic is about the orchestra industry and arts and culture in general, but I want to share some reflections. I recently attended the League of American Orchestras conference and it was very enlightening. It's a great time working with peers and seeing what's going on in the industry. And what I want to talk about is not a recap of presentations. It's really what I personally observed, what I heard people say when they thought they were just talking at their table or saying something in passing. These are my impressions. I've worked in the performing arts my entire career. I started in a box office at 17. And one of the things I've always loved about this industry is that the people in it genuinely care about their work. It's not about the business of it, but about what it does for people, what it feels to watch someone experience live music for the first time, what it means for a community to have an orchestra. And that care was so real in every room at the conference. But I also felt something else. It was a quiet exhaustion. People who are working incredibly hard, who care enormously, and who are watching the gap between their intentions and their outcomes not only stay wide, but in some cases get wider. I think it's really important to just say out loud that I don't think that gap exists because we're not trying hard enough. I think it exists because we've been asking our passion to do the work that only systems can do. If this resonates with you, please hit the like button so other arts administrators can find this conversation. Here's something I observed across my 3 days at the League conference. Our industry has an extraordinary capacity for passion, but a significant gap in systems. We care enormously, we work incredibly hard, and we consistently underinvest in the infrastructure, the data, the technology, the processes, the governance that would allow that passion to reach people more effectively and increase the capacity of our very thin teams. And passion is beautiful, but it's not a strategy. Caring deeply about your mission does not translate into patron retention necessarily, unless you can turn that into a strategy that will. This is really some reflection on the concept of working smarter, not harder. I think there's something in our industry's identity in the idea that we are in the service of art that has sometimes become something that's interfered in our ability to build the operational infrastructure that sustains the work, because some of that really requires more of a business mentality that can sometimes seem contradictory to the mission, not just in the arts, but in the nonprofit world, as if data and systems are somehow at odds with what we're really about. But they're not. They're what allow what we're really about to survive and to evolve. A lot of what I heard at this conference wasn't really about the present. It was about the past catching up with us. Organizations that don't own their data, it's not because of a decision made in the present, but because of agreements made years ago, decades ago, with venues that maybe seem like the right partnership at the time, but don't meet their needs today. Ticketing systems that don't talk to their other platforms, like email platforms, then governance gaps that appear slowly and get addressed one workaround at a time until the whole picture becomes visible at once and overwhelming at once. And then the A&I conversation, that was the hot topic. And this is happening on top of all of this deferred infrastructure. And what that means in practice is that organizations that are best positioned to benefit from AI are the ones that already did the hard work of getting their data right, their systems integrated, their patron relationships formalized, and who keep an open mind about exploring new technology. The organizations that deferred that work are now being asked to run before they can walk, and it is just growing and evolving at such a rapid pace, unlike anything we've ever seen before, which is not great news for an industry that is known to be rather slow to evolve. We certainly know that because of our limited resources and limited staff, limited budgets, we certainly don't operate like the for-profit world. There's a gap there, and AI is about to 10 times that gap, making it much harder for us as an industry to keep up if we don't get on board very quickly. So I don't say this as a criticism by any means. All of these decisions were made in the sense of their context, but we tend to make decisions and then stick with them instead of doing the work to learn, experiment, change. It's okay to revisit things. It's okay to change your tools and change your mind, change your policies. I don't believe in change just for the sake of change, but I do believe in learning and growth. And the idea that every project, every season we come into, we do it with the goal of leveling up. How can we do this thing we already do well even better? And so we need to be honest with ourselves that deferred decisions have compounding consequences. The organizations that recognize that and act on it will look very different in 5 years from the ones that don't. I want to talk about something I heard at tables that didn't really make it into the formal presentations, and that is fear. Not just general anxiety about technology changing things, but fear from people who have been through hard technology implementations and they carry that experience with them. I heard people who are trying to use AI tools right now, they're trying to get on board, but they're doing so without telling their organizations because they're afraid of the reaction they'd get. I'm also hearing a lot of stories of people trying to use AI tools right now and getting poor results and then abandoning the work and saying, this just doesn't work. When through experience, I've learned that when AI is not giving you the output you want, that's more user error. It's signs that people aren't using the tools in the correct way and they need more training and more help. So this is not a technology problem. This is a culture and leadership problem. And the organizations moving forward are the ones that have found ways to make it safe to learn, to experiment, to fail small, sometimes big too, and to share what they're finding and adapt to that. So fear doesn't go away by just telling people not to be afraid. It goes away when the environment changes into a safe space where people are free to grow without fear of failure. But ultimately, the mission is the real reason to build the systems. We say we believe in building relationships. Do our systems reflect that? We say we believe in serving our communities. Does our data tell us whether we're actually reaching them? Does it reflect our community? We say that what we do is change people's lives. But are we removing every possible barrier between a first-time visitor and their second experience? Or are we just hoping they find their way back? The technology available to us right now is genuinely capable of helping us live up to those beliefs in ways that weren't possible a few years ago, but honestly, even a year ago, 6 months ago. That is how rapidly it's changing. But the technology isn't the point. The technology is just the current version of a question this industry has always faced. Are we willing to invest in the infrastructure that lets our mission actually reach the people it's meant for? And I think we are. What I felt underneath the exhaustion at this conference wasn't defeat. It was readiness. It was curiosity. It was interest in this new but scary AI world. It's a field that knows something has to shift and is starting imperfectly to shift it. So I was also really glad to be in the industry at this moment, watching people come alive to the possibilities that are coming our way. If you happen to be in one of these rooms, I hope some of this resonates with you. If any of this sounds like your experience, the exhaustion, the gap, the quiet sense that things could work better than they do, I want you to know that it's not just you and it's not a personal failure. It's a structural challenge, and structural challenges have solutions. And that is what this channel is about. If you want to see how I've been putting some of these tools and systems into practice, check out the other videos on the channel and subscribe if this conversation is useful to you. I'll see you in the next one.